Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and wait, what's that? You actually tuned in to, of course, this one after my previous thoughts video that I posted an hour ago? Well, thank you guys so much for being patient for, of course, this one, So yeah, if you actually may recall, of course, the last thoughts video that I did when I talked about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, I actually, pretty much earlier today when I'm actually recording this, I actually went out for, of course, another double feature for sure. Yeah, all thanks to, of course, Crown City Cinemas letting me do that for sure, and well, this is, of course, my follow-up that I did to, of course, the last thoughts video that I did well over an hour ago for sure. And yeah, seeing how I did manage to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem beforehand, I'm actually going to follow that up with, of course, pretty much another movie that I actually did get to see around the same time for sure. So yeah, and of course, if anything, since I did mention that I need to get myself caught up on, of course, some of the new releases, I guess if anything, this movie I'm going to be talking about here today is actually a good way to, you know, let me get caught up for sure, and boy, do I've got a lot to say about this movie for sure, So yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that got front for sure. So yeah, I guess seeing how we did get done with, of course, spending some time talking about the Ninja Turtles with their latest movie that I talked about in the last thoughts video. I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what am I going to be talking about for today's thoughts video right here? So, well, that's actually quite simple for sure. I guess for starters, we're definitely shifting our focus back over to Disney for sure, but except this time, we're actually going to be talking about their latest movie based around one of their most iconic rides at their parks for sure. So yeah, bit of a quite interesting, pretty much a lineup of movies we've been getting from Disney so far. First, we actually caught pretty much one of their live-action remakes on the big screen. Then we actually got the latest movie from Pixar, and now looks like to pretty much complete this trilogy so far. Though it looks like it's going to be more than that for their 100th anniversary this year. Pretty much another movie based on, of course, one of their iconic rides for sure. Boy, I guess Disney is actually throwing out everything at us aside from the kitchen sink for sure. But hey, I need to do what I need to do for sure because, well, what else would I do for sure? Just pretty much have myself chained up and be Zay Magenta's butler for the rest of my life and not get paid for it. Although if he actually did that for sure, I would definitely call the cops on him. I certainly hope he didn't hear me say that for sure, but even if he did, you've been warned, Zay Magenta. If you do something that'll have me kidnapped for sure and have me be your slave with no pay, I will definitely call the cops on you. Let that sink in. But anyways, I think I might as well go ahead and talk about Disney's latest movie that just came out well over a week ago by the time I'm actually recording this video for sure. And yeah, it is, of course, pretty much based around, of course, one of their well-known rides for sure, which is, of course, the subject I'm going to be talking about here today, which is, of course, none other than Haunted Mansion. So yeah, I think it's pretty much what I'm going to be talking about here today. It is, of course, Disney's latest movie that came out some time ago for sure. And of course, it is actually pretty much the latest version of course, or at least in this case, they're a different version of a movie based around one of their most iconic rides at their parks for sure, which is, of course, the Haunted Mansion. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright. Alright, so before I could go ahead and talk about this latest movie, I think it makes sense to talk about, well, the ride that this movie is based on for sure, So yeah, I guess there's no doubt in my mind that if you have been to either Disneyland in California or the Magic Kingdom at Disney World in Florida or any of the other Disney parks that you've been to past or present, I guess there's no doubt in my mind that you may or may not be familiar with, of course, one of their most iconic rides for sure, which is, of course, the Haunted Mansion. And how could it not be for sure with its creepy atmosphere and some really gothic turns thrown into it, and even a bit of lightheartedness, and of course some creepy factors thrown into it. The Haunted Mansion is, of course, one of the most iconic rides that has been around ever since the Disney parks actually first been around for sure, even during the days of course, Walt Disney himself for sure, Although I think it may or may not be clear that Disney probably may be around the time the Haunted Mansion first came around for sure, but still, it's still part of his legacy that's been around for some time that cannot be pretty much be touched by anyone else for sure, So yeah, and of course, like I said, the Haunted Mansion is, of course, one of the most iconic rides at any of the Disney parks that you can go to, alongside plenty of the others that are out there for sure, like, of course, Jungle Cruise, Pirates of the Caribbean, It's a Small World, Big Thunder Mountain, and that's just to name a few for sure, So yeah, I would probably talk about my experience with the Haunted Mansion, but obviously I think it would probably take way too long for sure, so I'll probably save it for when I'll eventually do a video talking about my time at Disney World from pretty much almost 2 decades ago for sure, So yeah, I'm pretty sure that will be discussed in its own video that I might do later on in the near future for sure, but we shall have to wait and see on, of course, that front for sure, So yeah, and of course, oddly enough, in regards to this ride being turned into a movie, oddly enough, it's not the first time that the Haunted Mansion has, of course, been made into a movie for sure, So yeah, pretty much of anything, I think it is quite obvious that over 20 years ago, pretty much of anything, the first Haunted Mansion movie came out around 2003 with, of course, Eddie Murphy in pretty much in that movie, which, yeah, I guess in the end is, of course, not really a good movie. I think we can pretty much establish that hands down for sure, So yeah, pretty much the previous Haunted Mansion movie was just... it's just bad. Yeah, no question on that front. How do I think it's bad? Well, I think it is quite obvious. Pretty much the Eddie Murphy version can speak for itself. It knows exactly why. So yeah. Yeah, that's right. I said it. If you actually want to know on why the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion movie is indeed a bad movie, then, well... the movie itself can speak for itself. It knows exactly why, So yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front for sure. And, but I guess in regards to this movie for sure, oddly enough, we actually did see it coming for sure, but I was actually quite curious on, of course, that front for sure, and actually see if it could actually represent the ride, actually quite pretty much quite fine for sure, So yeah, I think it's pretty much what I could say on, of course, that front for sure. So yeah, I guess as part of course, my double feature that I did with, of course, seeing this alongside the new Ninja Turtles movie for sure, I think it makes sense to finally go into it just to see, of course, what they can throw into, of course, this one. So yeah, I just literally got off, of course, seeing it as part of course, my double feature, which actually did turn out well, by the way, and yeah, pretty much if anything, yeah, now that I've actually finally got the chance to see it, even though I'm pretty much a week late in, of course, seeing it, I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got to see it? Well, personally, to me, I think for what it is, yeah, I guess for what it is, I think this movie is just kind of, Yeah, I think it's pretty much the best way I can describe this movie. It's just, Yeah, I mean, is it downright terrible? No, not particularly, but is it any good? Obviously not, for sure, but yeah, I guess if anything, I do think this is pretty much an okay flick entirely, but at the same time, however, pretty much, I do admire, of course, what he needs to do, and he actually does capture the ride, actually, quite well. But for the majority of course, what I've actually seen, I do kind of felt it's pretty much, well, underwhelming to say the least, for sure, so yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright. Alright, so now that I've actually got the short version out of the way, I think I might as well go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about with, of course, this movie, so yeah, I guess for starters is, of course, the story for, of course, this movie, and oddly enough, I think from what I've actually seen, I do think story-wise, it actually does have some really good ideas thrown into it for sure. Again, it actually really does, of course, what it needs to do in pretty much capturing the look and the feel of course, pretty much the ride the movie is based on for sure. And I do think this movie really does do a fine job in doing exactly that. But from what I'm actually seeing, I just kind of felt it really didn't work well to the movie's advantage for sure. Literally from, of course, what I've actually seen, yeah, it does have some good ideas thrown into it, but I just kind of felt not really investing on, of course, what goes on for sure, and I couldn't actually get that really amount of feel that I would actually get for sure, So yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front for sure, and of course, the writing I have to say, yeah, oddly enough, I just kind of felt it's probably the weakest part of the movie, as the writing, I have to say, is just very, very sloppy in my opinion, and I just don't think really works well to the film's advantage as well, and yeah, I think from, of course, what I've actually seen, I do kind of felt it's probably taken from a lot of other haunted house movies that came beforehand that I know for sure definitely did a much better job for sure. But from what I've actually seen, I really don't think this movie actually works well in terms of its writing for sure. I never actually got myself invested with, of course, what I've actually seen, and yeah, I do kind of felt that maybe I think it could use like maybe a whole lot more drafts to actually make it all the more likable for sure. So yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can say for, of course, the writing, I have to say, alongside the story, hands down, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright. Alright, so now that I've actually got those two out of the way, I think I might as well go ahead and talk about the next couple of things that I need to talk about with, of course, this movie. And of course, for starters, is, of course, the characters. And oddly enough, to me, probably if there's one thing I could say, I do think the characters in, of course, this movie, oddly enough, I just don't think I've actually got myself invested with, of course, all of them for sure. I really do think they really didn't shine through all the way, and I just don't think they're that likable and interesting for sure. And plus, even the amount of development I've actually seen, of course, all of them for sure, I just really don't think it really works well to me, and I never really got myself investing on, of course, what goes on for sure. So yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can say for, of course, the characters for sure, and of course the actors that came on board to play all these characters. Oddly enough, to me, it's not all bad in my opinion. I do think the acting in, of course, this movie can be a big hit and miss, and sometimes, like, of course, some of the actors, I will have to say, like, of course, Owen Wilson and Jamie Lee Curtis actually, yeah, oh yeah, let's not forget to mention, yeah, pretty much, Lakeith Stanfield, really do give, fine enough, performance that are at least, passable, for sure, while others, well, I have to, say, like, of course, Rosario Dawson, and, of course, Jared Leto, and yes, by the way, Jared Leto is, of course, in this movie. Yeah, I think, Jared Leto in a Disney movie, I think maybe now's a good time for you to start praying to God, people. So yeah, pretty much those two that I can say, and even Danny DeVito from, of course, what I've actually seen for sure. Yeah, I mean, they did try their best to, of course, make it all the more work, but to actually work around this material given, but they just felt like they've been trying way too hard, or maybe not trying hard enough for sure. So yeah, I think it's pretty much all what I can say for, of course, the acting, of course, at this movie. It's not all bad in my opinion, but it can be a big hit and miss at sometimes for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say for those two aspects entirely for sure. So yeah. All right. Alright, so now that I've actually got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about for sure? So, well, I guess for starters, I will have to say if there's one thing I actually do liking, of course, this movie is that the set design, in my opinion, is actually really good in my opinion. Like, there's not pretty much one single set piece that looks absolutely phony in my opinion. No, it actually does give us on what I would expect for a Haunted Mansion movie. It just actually give us, well, a Haunted Mansion. And yeah, I think if anything, in terms of its set design, I do think it is actually really incredible for sure. Everything from what I've actually seen entirely, you actually do feel like it actually does look like the ride this movie is based on for sure. And I think it is actually really something I do admire for sure. And in terms of its visuals and effects entirely, well, in comparison to, of course, pretty much the Eddie Murphy version, personally to me, I do think the visuals and the effects in this movie is surprisingly a whole lot better compared to the Eddie Murphy version for sure. And yeah, literally from, of course, what I've actually seen, I do think the visuals and the effects in this movie is actually done very well, and the way the ghosts actually appear actually does work very well, pretty much having the CG mixed in with, of course, the Uncanny Valley entirely, actually makes it all the more incredible for sure. And yeah, I do think the ghosting, of course, this movie actually look absolutely incredible for sure. And yeah, actually really does represent the 999 happy haunts from the ride for sure. And And it is actually quite interesting to note because, yeah, pretty much if anything as described from the original ride for sure, there are 999 happy haunts in this one mansion, but there's always room for one more, and I think pretty much if anything, the first part of course, that short description of course, the ride itself, I do think the movie actually really does capture that for sure, and yeah, it's something I really do like for sure, and yeah, on top of all that, I also do admire, of course, the pretty much the semi-creepy atmosphere and its tone entirely, and I did say semi because, well, it'll come into play later on in the video for sure, so yeah. I guess if anything, that's probably a few good things that I actually do admiring, of course, this movie. I think they really nailed it on the head for sure, so yeah. And of course, pretty much for the other aspects, well, personally to me, the direction in this movie from the film's director, personally to me, I just kind of felt, it almost felt a little non-existing sometimes. Yeah, pretty much of anything from what I've actually seen, I never actually noticed anything, of course, pretty much anything this film has actually done in terms of its direction. It's almost like the cast and crew working on this movie had no idea that the direction, of course, is non-existing until sometime later, almost thinking to themselves, what do I need to do? Yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can say for, of course, that front for sure, and of course, the cinematography in this movie is actually alright, and actually gave us some pretty decent camera shots, from my opinion, and of course, pretty much the film's editing, I have to say, actually did cut itself just fine nonetheless. Maybe I think a little bit of reworking, or maybe some parts that are trimmed down could have been much better, but it's still okay at best in my opinion, so yeah, I guess with all those hands down, those are pretty much everything that I can say for, of course, this movie entirely, so yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much everything that I can say for, of course, this movie entirely, and yeah, oddly enough, even after walking out of this movie, I knew I would probably get a decent experience on the last, but at the same time, I did kind of question to myself, what is this movie trying to accomplish or even do? I mean, the sad, desperate souls that actually went to see this movie is probably not going to get much entirely, and well, it is pretty much what I would expect for, of course, this one for sure, so yeah, aside from, of course, a few good things I have to say about this one, overall, pretty much of anything, Haunted Mansion, I have no idea, of course, what it's trying to do for sure. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, it's not awful entirely, and yeah, not really one of the worst films I've actually seen by far, and yeah, I mean, is it actually worse than the Eddie Murphy version entirely? Well, no, not particularly. I mean, if anything, the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion movie, for me personally, I mean, yeah, it does actually have some good ideas thrown into it, but it's just tossed aside in this movie, and that SAG movie is, of course, set on autopilot entirely for sure, so. But I guess for this movie, from what I could gather, I mean, I'll give it credit that it did try a lot harder than the Eddie Murphy version entirely for sure, and it does actually does do what it needs to do to actually representing pretty much the look and the feel of course, the ride for sure. But aside from a few good things I really do admire entirely, I just felt it really hardly works entirely, which, yeah, kind of results in, well, a meh movie in my opinion for sure, so So yeah, it's not by all means awful from what I've actually seen, nor do I think it's actually anything that great in my opinion. It's just meh. Just a meh movie in my opinion for sure, and it is such a shame entirely. Maybe I think with a little reworking here and there, I do think we could have actually got a very solid Haunted Mansion movie for sure. That's not only fun and enjoyable, but incredibly creepy and scary at the same time for sure. Pretty much, if anything, the original ride that's still going on for sure does actually nail those aspects pretty much hands down. So why can't the same thing be said about this movie entirely for sure? So yeah, pretty much if anything, I think we're left with, of course, what we got in this movie for sure. Certainly much better than the Eddie Murphy movie, hands down, but turned out to be a pretty much decent movie that I think you can pretty much forget hands down for sure. And I know it's pretty much what I can't say on, of course, that front because, yeah, does have some good stuff here and there, but other times it just kind of felt not really as scary, but more boring to watch for sure. So yeah, just a decent enough flick that I think you can pretty much forget in like pretty much literally after seeing it for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. So yeah, for my final score, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind, I'm definitely going to give this movie a 5 out of 10 as my final score for sure. Like I say, it does have some good ideas that I do think actually works well in my opinion. But I just think you can easily forget about this one pretty much after you actually saw it for sure, hands down. I know that's exactly what I would expect for, of course, this movie for sure. And yeah, it's certainly much better than the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion movie, but that's not saying a whole lot for sure. And I think I know hands down with the 999 Happy Haunts, and of course this movie, I really don't think there is actually room for one more after seeing this one. And there's no freaking way that I'd be hitchhiking my way back to this Haunted Mansion anytime soon for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright. Alright, so I think that's pretty much everything that I can say on, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and yeah, by all means, what do you think of this latest Haunted Mansion movie for sure? Do you actually really enjoy it and think it's actually a really great flick, or do you absolutely hate it and just absolutely betrays on what was great about the original ride? Or are you somewhere in between like you did and just think it's a meh movie in my opinion? Pretty much in any of your opinion for sure. So yeah, by all means, let me know what you thought about this movie in the comment section below. I'm quite curious to see what you guys think of it. So yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and well, looks like we're finally caught up entirely, and boy, was it a massive struggle to finally get ourselves caught up for sure. And yeah, now that I finally got those out of the way, I might as well get myself prepared within about 1 to 2 weeks time for the next movie that I'll be shooting to go see later on for sure. What, you may ask? Well, you're gonna have to keep on tuning in to actually see for yourself. So, but I guess until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427's Productions for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, Ackley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as joining our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and plenty more in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and showing support to me on both of my wish lists on Amazon and Right Stuff Anime, and even supporting me with my link on Streamlabs that you can find on my Twitch page. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.